Josh Christopher has been a popular name in high school basketball for years now. He's been one of the poster boys for the modern social media era of high school hoops. He's an exciting player and one of my favorite prospects in this draft. However, I think there is more to Josh Christopher than meets the eye. And today I'm going to be talking about his strengths, his weaknesses, and what I think he can be. However, before we get into today's video, I've noticed that about 76% of you guys that watch my videos happen to not be subscribed. So if you fall into that 76%, or you just new and like what you see, feel free to like, subscribe, hit notification bell, be notified whenever I release a video. I make videos to take elements from film essays and apply them to basketball. I also make videos talking about the NBA draft like this video and high school basketball as well. So if you're into either of those things, this is the channel for you. Also, let's try to get 60 likes on this video. Make sure you follow my Twitter and my TikTok for more basketball content and just other fun stuff as well. Link to everything will be in the description as always. But with that being said, let's get right into the video. Josh Christopher is a 6'5", 215-pound shooting guard prospect. He played his high school basketball at Mayfair. This is the same high school that Josh Childress, Justin Turner, YG, and Vince Staples went to. He was ranked 12th by Rivals, 11th by ESPN, and 8th by 24/7 Sports. He would choose to play his freshman season at Arizona State. He's actually the highest ranked recruit in the history of Arizona State basketball. Yes, higher than James Harden. In fact, James Harden gave Josh his blessing to wear number 13, which the program had retired for Harden. In his freshman season, Josh Christopher averaged 14.3 points per game, 4.7 rebounds a game, 1.4 assists per game on 43.2, 30.5, 80 shooting splits. Now, he only played in 15 games due to injury, but he did play against good competition and a lot of teams that actually made the March Madness tournament. So I think that given the level of competition, it is a fair enough sample size to use in his evaluation. One thing that obviously stands out to me is Josh Christopher's frame. The guy is built to play NBA basketball at 19 years old, which is insane at 6'5", 215 pounds like I mentioned earlier. He's a powerful slasher that is basically unstoppable with a full head of steam. He's somebody that just uses his physicality to his advantage, and there's not that many people that can handle his physicality at the college level. And there probably aren't going to be many guards that can handle his physicality at the NBA level. It's not at the level that like an Anthony Edwards was necessarily, but it still is a very powerful kind of slashing ability that he has. He shows a lot of flashes as a shot creator in the mid-range where he operates a lot from when he's not slashing to the rim. His free throw numbers suggest he has good shooting potential as well, and he's a pretty good rebounder for a guard prospect. However, one of the most underrated aspects of Josh Christopher's game is his mindset. He will make the hustle plays, he'll do the little things that don't show up in the box score. He just wants to win and plays with great intensity. And I think that's something that people don't talk about enough because of the fact that you look at him, like it's all about the scoring and the flash. But at the end of the day, I think that his ability to make those hustle plays, do the little things, and make winning plays or try to make winning plays, I think that's actually his greatest asset as a prospect. However, he does have weaknesses. He isn't a good three-point shooter, and while the volume of threes he takes and his free throw numbers suggest potential as a shooter, he does need to improve because at the end of the day, indicators are just indicators. They aren't substance, and he'll need to back up those indicators to validate them per se. And being a good three-point shooter would validate that, but as of right now, he's not really a good three-point shooter. I wouldn't say he's a completely lost cause because he's not someone you can leave open. He can hit an open three, so at least he fits the baseline. But considering he is a volume scoring guard, he will need to improve on that. He doesn't have good shot selection either, which is true in almost every young guard prospect that's scoring oriented. So he's not the first, he won't be the last, but it is something he will need to improve on. He's somebody that does settle a bit when it comes to him taking bad mid-range shots, things like that. It isn't as bad as some other prospects, but it still is noticeable. Needs to cut down on the fouls as well. You know, he does foul a bit too much. And he's also not a good passer, definitely score first. And he could give a bit more effort on defense. And I think that while he's better on defense and shows more intensity than given credit for, he can be a bit reluctant. Some of these things are just him being young and him growing as a player, but other things I do think, like the passing and the three-point shooting to an extent, are like things that are to be concerned about when it comes to what I believe his ceiling could be. I would say that Josh Christopher is a late lottery, middle of the first round kind of prospect that I would take anywhere between 12 and the 20s per se. The range on him and where he could go is very wide in my opinion. I believe in his motor, I believe in the frame, I believe in the skill set that he has. I do think that his, three-point shooting woes and the passing might hold him back from being the player that maybe he was promoted to be coming out of high school. But that's okay because, everything that comes out of high school is about promotion. It's not really about what they are as prospects. And I still think regardless of the hype that Josh Christopher had coming out of high school, he still is a very good prospect and someone that I believe has a very bright future. He's somebody that, oddly enough, I see having a similar development curve to what Romeo Langford's going through right now, where there are these guys that were highly touted scoring prospects coming out of high school. They have an okay freshman season, play through injuries, things like that, and then they end up going middle of the first round, and once they get to the league, they're more known for their defensive potential and being a 3-and-D kind of guy. I think that's something that Josh Christopher will go through. I think that's something that Romeo Langford has gone through. And I randomly thought about this toward the end when I was writing the script, that could be similar of, the Romeo Langford, Josh Christopher kind of thing, where they are known as highly touted scorers, and once they get to the league though, they're more known for being potential 3-and-D guard wing kind of players, which is okay. And I like Josh Christopher a lot. I think the perceptions around him are a bit odd and a bit off for me because of the fact that, he's flashy, he likes to promote stuff on his social medias, he likes to, show off what he has, and I don't think people understand this enough, that you can have interest outside of basketball even if you're pursuing a professional career, which Josh Christopher clearly is. Just because Josh Christopher likes to promote his designer fashion and things like that on his social media, that doesn't mean that he can't love basketball at the same time. I think it's impossible to see a guy that makes the hustle plays he does, will dive for loose balls, jump over chairs and score tables just to maybe save a possession. It's hard for me to believe that that guy doesn't love basketball. And I think that, a lot of people need to face away from the fact that just because people have other interests doesn't mean that they don't love basketball. And that's not just a problem with him. That's a problem with sports in general. But he's been somebody that it's affected the most because people think, oh, he's just selfish, he's immature, he's this and that. But I've heard from people that I trust, from what they've posted on social media about him, about how he is, respectful, he's kind, he's willing to stay and sign autographs for a bunch of kids at an AAU tournament. He loves the spotlight, but he also loves putting on a show for people, not just for himself. He's somebody that, he's flashy, he's this and that, but he also wants to win. And again, I just don't think that people understand that enough. And I think, again, that's just a problem with sports in general, that people think that you have to be about sports all the time. No, you don't. Trust me. Go look at my Twitter account. I made over 300 something videos on this channel about basketball. Go look at my Twitter. I don't talk about basketball as much. I do. I like talking about basketball, but I also talk about a lot of other things on my Twitter. So again, when it comes to Josh Christopher, it goes so that you can love something while liking other things, and a lot of people just need to realize that. And that's just not with him, it's with a lot of prospects, but I think he's been the one that has been the biggest, quote-unquote victim of it, because of the fact that it not only it's affected how people view him off the court, it's affected how people view him on the court. Like, people think he's just a volume scoring prospect. That's not the case at all. He has defensive potential, and he has, like, legit, like, motor. Like, he can be a glue guy, and the shot creating is just another aspect of it. In fact, I would say the motor and the glue guy kind of aspect of him is what makes him a great prospect. Yeah, the scoring and the shot creating, that's all great, but I also think that the motor and the intensity he plays with plays a gigantic factor as well. But that is the end of this video. If you've made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, do all those things, be a big help to me. Let me know your thoughts on Josh Christopher. Where do you have him ranked in this draft? Who does he remind you of, as far as maybe like what skill sets does he have that remind you of a certain NBA player? Try to be reasonable with that. But I had a lot of fun making this. This is one of my favorite prospects in the draft. He's been one of my favorite prospects for years now. And I think, again, I really just wanted to make this video because, A, it's a draft video. I love talking about the draft, but also because this is a misunderstood prospect, in my opinion. Somebody that what makes him great, in my opinion, is different from what I think he's being promoted for. And I just wanted to talk about that and kind of give you those reasons why. But with that being said, have a nice day.